You are going to have to be able to roll with the punches because there are going to be punches. Like, life is going to be quite unpredictable, and quite often things are not really going to go the way that you want them to go. So, for an example, today a friend of mine was fired, and granted, he kind of brought it upon himself, so can't really blame the employer. But still, these kind of moments are going to arrive, and these kind of moments are going to arrive even if you're going to be a overall decent person and you're overall going to do a good job with whatever it is that you're going to do, because not everything is always going to be fair. Quite a lot of different things are going to be situational. Sometimes you're just going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Sometimes you're going to bring some of these things upon yourself, but there are going to be quite a few punches. The punches are going to come, and that is something that I can say with a 100% certainty. They might not be that often, they might be there just from time to time, they might be there quite rarely, but they are going to come, and it really is going to matter how is it that you treat these moments, because these moments are the moments where you can fuck everything up, or you can do everything in a good, reasonable way and you can make it work. Because it's quite easy to break when these kind of moments arrive, because not everyone is going to have the mental fortitude to actually handle these moments well and handle them in a pragmatic, efficient way. But it does matter that you do. And I feel like this is a skill that you can develop over time. It's not going to be something that is going to be there for young people. I feel like young people very rarely possess this skill. But as you get older, I feel like you become a little bit more relaxed with your approach to everything, and you become a little bit more pragmatic, and you're able to handle these kind of situations better in a more logical way. And that is actually going to be something that is going to be needed. And I feel like that is also why older people quite often do better when it comes to high stress situations, because you are just going to kind of start thinking a little bit more about your survival, and you're not going to deteriorate to the point where you just don't do anything. You start drinking, you start not thinking, you start just trying to like disconnect. And yeah, I feel like that is going to be basically the main factor that is going to determine your success or not. Because these moments are going to come, these moments are going to be there for everyone, regardless. So the only thing you can do is be as well prepared as you possibly can be for these sorts of moments. And at the end of the day, just realize that it's unavoidable. It's unavoidable. They are going to be there, and you are just going to handle them as good as humanly possible. And I feel like having a plan helps a lot. I feel like you should be in a reasonable position from the get go where you are able to take these hits. Then, if the hit actually comes, it also helps a lot for you to have a legitimate plan of how is it that you're going to do this, and how is it that you're going to handle this situation. And then ultimately, yeah, I mean, you just have to keep yourself together. You have to keep on moving forward. You have to decide what is it that you want to do, and you have to execute. But it's always going to be there. These situations are always going to be there to an extent, and not all of them are going to be as dramatic as you getting fired or as something really bad happening. Some of these situations are going to be significantly less impactful and mostly just annoying, but they are still going to be there. So you are going to have to build up your mental fortitude as a human being, because life is going to consist quite a lot of these moments. You are going to get quite a lot of these moments during your lifetime. So yeah, you just need to figure out what is it that you can do and how is it that you can handle these sorts of things. And then if you are this kind of a person that does possess this mental fortitude, I feel like everything in life just becomes so much easier that way. So if you are able to handle these kind of situations well, and if you are able to come up with a plan, and if you're able to keep your head straight, that's basically the only skill that you need to do well in life, in my opinion. Because if you're able to do that, you're kind of more or less able to do everything or anything that you want to do. Because like at the end of the day, that is basically the worst case scenario. And if you're able to handle the worst case scenario well, and if you're able to adapt efficiently and just quite quickly decide what is it that you need to do next, that is going to help a lot. And I always think about how is it that a person, for an example, becomes homeless. And of course, logically, there are going to be quite a few different reasons how can someone become homeless. But I feel like a big part of it is also just not having the mental fortitude to handle these sorts of situations. Because if you do have something bad that happens to you, for an example, you lose your employment and you're already financially unstable as it is, and on top of it, you don't really have an income source anymore, that is a recipe for disaster. That way you can quite quickly end up on the street. So yeah, I mean, first of all, on a fundamental level, you need to just be a reasonable human being on a daily basis, and you shouldn't really live on the edge constantly. And then when something does happen, yeah, just like you need to actively keep on moving. I feel like the worst thing you can do in these sorts of situations is just sit and not do anything and start drinking and start like basically feeling bad for yourself, because that is instantly going to destroy you. That is not really a good way to handle these sorts of things at all. But then at the end of the day, if you do have a plan, if you have a stable base, then I feel like you can handle more or less anything, and you are going to be prepared for whatever it is that comes your way, which is also ultimately the best case scenario. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.